Welcome to CrashMagic. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to show a card trick but you hadn't got your cards with you? If so, this is the trick for you. But to be honest, even if you always carry your cards with you, I think this trick is strong enough to be in any routine. For this trick we're going to go straight into the tutorial, so looking at the mechanics and the steps of the trick that you need to follow, and then after that we'll have a quick discussion about some of the ways that the trick could be performed. The basic steps of this trick then are that you ask a spectator to think of any card. So once they've thought of a card, you ask them to just think of the value. So an ace is 1, jack is 11, queen is 12 and king is 13, and you ask them to double that value, add 1 to it, multiply it by 5, and then depending on if the suit of their thought of card was a club, diamond, heart or spade, you ask them to add 6, 7, 8 or 9 to that total. Then they give you that total, and quick as a flash you're able to tell them the card that they thought of. Okay, so let's go through a few examples of how this works. This is a no card trick, but we're just going to use these cards just as examples of the possible cards that a spectator might have thought of. So let's say a spectator thinks of the ace of hearts. So ace of course counts as 1 in value, so you would ask them to double it, so that would be 2, add 1, 3, multiply by 5, 15, and then it's a heart, so they would add 8 to give a total of 23. So these are the steps that they would have followed to get their total of 23, and then based on that total, this is what the steps that you go through in your head to work out the card that they thought of. The total that they come up with will either be a 2 or a 3-digit number. Either way, you take the last digit, so our total was 23 in this time for the ace of hearts. So 3 gives you the suit of hearts, and then the first digit or first digits, if it's a 3-digit number, you take 1 off that to give you the value. So 23, 3 is a heart, first digit is a 2, minus 1 is 1, so you know it's a 1, an ace of hearts. Let's go through another example. Let's say a spectator thought of the queen of clubs. So queen is 12 in value, double it makes 24, add 1, 25, multiplied by 5 is 125, and then it's a club, so you would ask them to add 6 to give a final total of 131. So again, you start with the last digit. The last digit of 131 is 1, so we immediately know their card was a club. The first 2 digits in this case are 13. 13 take away 1 is 12, so you know it was a queen of clubs. Let's just do one more example. 4 of spades. If the spectators thought of 4 of spades, you would ask them to double their value. Double 4 is 8, add 1 is 9, multiplied by 5 is 45. It's a spade, so they'd add on 9, which makes 54. So the last digit of 54, once they give you the total, you know the last digit is 4, so you know their card is a spade. The first digit is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, so you know their card is the 4 of spades. So the trick really is as simple as that, and it works really well, I think. As I say, it works fantastic with a single spectator. You can ask them to think of a card, follow these steps, and once you've remembered, really the only thing you need to remember is this order of 1, 2, 3, 4 clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades. As soon as you give them the total, almost immediately you can tell them the card that they thought of. And because of the way this works, obviously you don't need cards, you don't need a table. You could be in the car when you're doing this trick, or in the pub, or anywhere. It works so well. But the other thing is, it works really well with a group of spectators as well. So you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 spectators, however many. You can ask them all to think of a card, all to follow these steps to give themselves a total, and then again, once they've all got their totals, they could give them to you, and as each spectator gives the total to you, you could, quick as a flash, reveal the cards they thought of. Or again, you could adapt this and make this into more of a long, stretched out performance perhaps. So once you've got those totals, maybe you could do some sort of trick with those totals themselves, and then turn the rest of the trick into more of a mind reading feat, where you appear to attempt to read the mind of each spectator in turn in order to work out the value of their card. You could really play around this one, and I think you could come up with some great versions just based on the mechanics of this trick. Well, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe. If you've got any comments, leave them down below, and see you soon.